All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator, with the trade report for Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. Look at Twilio go. This was yesterday's entry. It's up already 5% today, hitting the top of the range. With our normal trades, this would be our target level, but we're going for a bigger win. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go back to SPY real quick. Looking pretty good, around break even right now, and a little back and forth this morning. Really tight candles here, but we've been floating up every week. We basically get our best case scenario after little dips. Exactly what we want to see. Market is bullish. Market internals are great. I won't talk about that too much because we talk about that every day. If you need a refresher, go to the last few reports. We've been talking about that. But the key level now, 280 to 281. We want to break that level. If we break that level, I'm pretty sure we'll test the 292 all-time high levels. Nothing is for sure in the markets, but even now I have a strong suspicion that we are going to hit these levels at some point here. So that is my bias right now. That is why I added 2 positions yesterday. We are up to 5 now, and I think I'm willing to go to 6, and there's a lot of good choices today if I want to add an entry. And remember here, we're watching this range in here to the downside. As long as we pull back and hold about 274, we're okay. So we've got a 4-point cushion here in SPY to feel comfortable. The Qs strong as well. IWM strong as well. Exactly what we want to see. BRIC countries, fantastic. If we pull up the EEM, emerging markets ETF, looking good. And then obviously Brazil, overall pattern looking really good. And India is actually strong today after a pullback and a little bit of lagging. And then China is strong as well. Instead of the China ETF, I'm going to look at China stocks, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's go to our entries. We talked about Twilio here. This was classic trend pullback play. Strong trend here in a strong sector. So Twilio has the market on its side. It has its sector on its side. Software has been the hottest sector in the market, and then it had great earnings reaction as well. And now was a breakout pullback. I got some questions about how the extent of this move here yesterday, and I entered when the stock was up quite a bit, about 6 or 7%, or maybe it was 8%. I don't care. It doesn't matter if this happens 2 days, 3 days to get up over the 9. It got up over the 9, and I like the pattern. If it had consolidated for a few days, that would be fine. But we know it's a low float stock. It doesn't take a lot of volume to push it at 76 million. So I like it. And not only do I like it to the top of the range, I think this can break the range when we factor in all the positives about the market, the sector, and the stock. So I'm going to go for a bigger win here. And then we entered Netflix, which if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I've been posting comparisons of the FANG stocks, and Netflix has basically been crushing the rest of the FANGs since the October meltdown and the more specifically the late December holiday run up here. Completely crushing all of the other, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google. It's kind of taken over here. I do think we're going to test this 400 range, so I'm going to go for a bigger win here, maybe even to the top of the range. So we could get the 2-to-1. I think that's around 382, but we could potentially go for a bigger win here. And this is classic, trend pullback continuation here for Netflix. So those are the 2 entries. Current positions, financials, FAS, not doing much today, but still overall great pattern. ERX pattern still looks great, and we're I think about 1.5 points above our entry. And then race, this one's been a little frustrating. It hasn't really done much. It's right at our entry level right now. I think if it can clear the 128 level, that's when it would make its run. And I could see it hitting 140. But stalling for now. Now going to the focus list, a lot of good areas, a lot of good stocks. We talked about China. My 2 favorites right now are Huya, the IPO. This is the kind of the Netflix, not necessarily Netflix, but we could compare it to streaming services and Netflix in China. And then Baba is basically like Amazon of China. So essentially we've got Netflix and we've got Amazon here for China. And both of them look very strong. Win, still like the bottoming formation here. SGMS, the software for gambling, sports gambling, very strong here. We have 6 points to the upside before it hits the resistance level, and we only need to risk a 1.5. So easily get 3 to 1 on that. Tupperware, getting ready to break into the gap here. Technically, it's doing that right now. A little extended while it's hitting that range, but that's what we're looking for here with TUP. So strong gap down reversal. We still like home builders. BZH is my favorite because it's a low float and the most volatile, but we have the bigger guys like Toll Brothers, uh, DR Horton as well, and Lennar and KBH, all basically putting in the same patterns, but I'll go with the lower float one. Their FLWS also very strong and breaking to the highs, technically triggering now for an entry. FSLR Solar is very strong and it's up over its 200-day moving average, putting in that, completing basically that bottoming formation. And then metals, which had been hit, but very strong now. CLF, X also very strong, and then FCX breaking out. So we have a lot of good potential entries today. I think I may add one. So keep your eyes peeled for a trade alert today.